In the unpredictable realm of music, some artists push the boundaries of creativity and defy all expectations. Among these audacious pioneers, there exists a band whose name has become synonymous with chaos, danger, and unbridled mayhem: Hanatarash. This enigmatic Japanese group has earned a notorious reputation as the world's most dangerous band, leaving a trail of shattered instruments, demolished stages, and bewildered audiences in their wake. Brace yourself for a wild ride as we delve into the captivating story of Hanatarash, the world's most dangerous band. In the 1980s, Japan experienced a surge of noisy rock and experimental music that gained immense popularity in the underground scene. The artists during this time were more daring, courageous, and exceptionally chaotic in both their sound and performances. One standout group from that era was Hanatarash, which formed in Osaka in 1984. They pushed the boundaries of music during that time, while discussing various music acts like Mayhem, Satan Panonsky, or Jijalin. However, Hanatarash was on a completely different level. Their performances and music epitomized chaos and could be considered the true embodiment of noise punk. The madness they brought on stage was all part of their act, creating some of the most dangerous and destructive live performances in music history. One of their most famous moments was when they bulldozed into the back of a building during a show. This is just a small part of their extensive history. Before diving into the incident, hit that subscribe button and bell notification to stay up to date with our content. Now let's explore the background of Hanatarash. The band consisted of two members, guitarist Mitsuru Tabata and frontman I. They met at a concert by Einstürzende Neubauten, a German band known for their experimental nature. Einstürzende Neubauten likely had a significant influence on Hanatarash. The duo shared similar musical tastes and a common goal. Like their contemporaries, they incorporated ordinary objects into their music, such as power tools, drills, barrels, saws, and any other strange objects they could find. It was a liberating concept where anything nearby could be used as an instrument and added to their music. This approach is evident in their first album, Hanatarash. Throughout the 80s, they went on to create two more albums, Hanatarash 2 and Hanatarash 3. As heard in the soundbite, there aren't many moments where the music sounds cohesive. Throughout the albums, you might hear a drum solo or some improvised vocals here and there, but besides that, the sounds seem to come from random places, and anything can happen at any time. The music appears to be mostly created on the spot, and while there are compelling and interesting parts, listening to it can be a bit unsettling. It might be more enjoyable to witness the process of creating it rather than just hearing the final result. This is especially true for the noise punk band, Hanatarash, known for their intense live performances. In the world of noise punk, chaotic and intense shows are expected, but Hanatarash takes it to another level. Unfortunately, there are only a few video clips available, but they give a glimpse into the insanity of their live performances. They would do extreme things like sticking the microphone in their mouths and screaming while the audience stood still, or even throwing panes of glass towards the crowd. One infamous incident involved the frontman attaching a circular saw to his body during a live gig, resulting in a severe injury nearly sawing his leg in half. In another gig, he brought a dead cat on stage and threw it into the audience, showing just how impulsive and frightening these performances could be. Sadly, most of these wild events were not well documented, and the stories mainly spread through word of mouth. However, a 30-minute video clip titled Hanatarash Shibuya Tokyo 1985 provides the best example of their intense live performances. The video appears to have a low resolution, making it difficult to see what's happening at times. However, it does reveal some interesting details. Gradually, the duo destroys every part of the stage, throwing barrels and ripping up the floorboards. Towards the end, they even start throwing objects directly at the crowd, which seems to be a common occurrence in their live shows. Understandably, people in the crowd quickly leave the venue. In the end, the venue staff solemnly cleans up the damage caused by the duo. This video is quite remarkable and somewhat unknown, as it not only showcases the intensity of their performances, but also sheds light on the reality of their actions at this stage of their career. Interestingly, before entering the venue, the crowd had to sign waivers that released Hanatarash from any responsibility if anything went wrong. These shows had become quite dangerous. Despite that, they still managed to attract large crowds, as people were eager to see Hanatarash perform live. In the same year, they had their most notorious performance, which could be considered one of the craziest gigs in music history. Although Hanatarash was based in Osaka, they had gained popularity by performing at various well-known underground clubs in Tokyo. They had developed a dedicated following of fans who were eager to witness their next move, and they certainly delivered on their ferocious reputation during a club performance in the summer of 1985. They forcefully crashed into the back of the building where they were playing. While there is no video footage of this incident, a slideshow of pictures shows the chaos and destruction caused by the show. Yamantaka, a member of the band, was asked about this experience, and he described it by saying the following: "We got on this thing and drove it straight through the doors of the hall. It spun a full 360 degrees, so we were spinning and chasing the audience around. Suddenly, we hit a wall and created a large hole. The wind blew in. The place had concrete walls and no windows. We smashed everything. It's quite astonishing how little sound comes out when you're smashing something with all your strength." So, yes, you heard that correctly. He actually chased the audience around with a bulldozer before eventually returning to the stage and continuing the performance. What's interesting about the statement is that it focuses on the actions and events involving a performer named Yamantaka. Yamantaka was performing music on stage, and it's noteworthy that he actually commented on the sound quality of the music. While it makes sense for him to care about the sound since it was the music they were performing, it's also funny to think that he was annoyed by it not being loud enough, while he literally screamed at the top of his lungs with a microphone held inside of his mouth. After performing on stage for a while, Yamantaka left the stage and entered the crowd. He then tried to throw a lit Molotov cocktail onto the stage in an attempt to burn down the wreckage he had created with the bulldozer. Fortunately, he was stopped, and the show ended at that point. The gig was extremely dangerous and destructive, unlike any other live show. Hanatarash, the performer, almost destroyed the entire building and put the audience in danger. The aftermath of this event was costly for the duo. They had to pay 600,000 yen, which is equivalent to $9,000. Additionally, they were banned from playing in Tokyo for 10 years, and they faced difficulties performing anywhere in the country due to the notoriety of the incident. They became known as the world's most dangerous band. In the 90s, Yamantaka decided to tone down their performances, and this allowed them to perform at various clubs again. While some of their shows were still chaotic, they never reached the same level as the mid-80s performances. It is challenging to discuss Hanatarash solely from a musical perspective because their live shows were so closely tied to their overall act. The 80s and 90s were a defining period for Japan's noise scene, with acts like Merzbow Hijo Kaden and Incapacitants making significant contributions to the genre. Hanatarash were musicians who excelled in their live performances, taking their shows to a whole new level. And there you have it, a glimpse into the wild and unpredictable world of Hanatarash, the most dangerous band to ever grace the stage. In a world of conformity and predictability, are there still artists like Hanatarash out there, ready to challenge our perceptions and redefine the limits of creativity? Share your thoughts and join us again for more captivating stories from the realm of horror and beyond. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.